Curseforge is the biggest repository for mods from all sorts of games, from WoW to KSP, but most importantly, Minecraft, with over 140,000 projects on its site alone, their own launcher, and of course the affiliation with Forge itself. It's no wonder that Curseforge sits on top when it comes to people's minds. But that domination isn't gonna last forever, as a new player in the scene is already making a name for themselves with a sleek design and a community-driven mindset. It's no wonder that Modrinth is steadily making moves to anchor themselves as another household name for the modding enthusiasts to call home. But how did it do that? How did Modrinth go from an idea by a few people to the only real competitor to Curseforge? And how do you win a battle of popularity against a giant? Well, my friends, let's take another dive into the history, current day, and the future of Modrinth, as I sat down with the team behind Modrinth and got some interesting answers. And let's just say, this could possibly be another golden age for Minecraft modding. You know, it wasn't too long ago that Minecraft was wholly dependent on launchers. As some of you might remember, the Technic launcher and the FTB client. These launchers worked by letting mod pack makers just upload a zip file to a server they owned, which they would download and install the client from. But there was one big issue, as many mod developers rarely got the recognition for the awesome mods they made. So in 2014, Curse.com, which up until that point hosted plugins and server-sided mods, announced a partnership with Feed the Beast, the very popular mod pack at the time, and where Curse's new launcher would be the way where thousands of players could access FTB, as the original FTB client got discontinued, and Curse's website, Curseforge, got a lot of traffic as a result. But of course, there was one small problem: money. See, these mod devs relied on the amount of people clicking links in order to gain some amount of income for their mods, and mod loaders like Technic totally bypassed that. They started switching to Curseforge as it has ads running throughout its site. Curseforge oversaw the golden age of Minecraft modding happening on their site, with large mods like IC2, Buildcraft and the like moving over there from their self-hosted sites to the big boy. In turn, more people got to know newer mods, and the oh-so-famous Pam's Harvestcraft got its start there. In 2016, the site's holder, Curse, got bought by Twitch, with some in the community switching off as they saw the loader getting bloated with Twitch streams. With FTB announcing that they would cease the partnership with Curse 3 years later, this was yet another big blow to the giant. And while it was recovering from the loss, Overwolf, the most hated tool by gamers worldwide, bought Curse from Twitch for like 5 cents or something. I don't know. Now, I don't think it can be underestimated the amount of people that actually hate Overwolf with a passion. However, the Curse launcher is still popular today because of its ease of use and the amount of mods on its platform. There was also one big issue causing the giant not to wake from its slumber and fix itself. There was no competition. It's in this turmoil that we find the roots that will later become Modrinth, with many more dedicated community members making their own launchers like MultiMC, my personal favorite, but many just didn't want to deal with making complex packs instead of just downloading them from a launcher. Like I said time and time again, people just want to play their silly block game. Casual players or just less tech-savvy players just want to boot up the game and have it working. But in November 2020, a new wind was blowing. A challenger arrived with promises of an open source, community-driven new way to host Minecraft mods. Sparked by the explosive rapture Fabric made in the modding community, which we are not getting into, dear God, all you need to know is that it showed that there could be competition in the space and form a drive to be competitive. Say what you want about Fabric, but it caused a lot of debate and change in the way people see mods today. Out of this raging hellfire stepped a bunch of projects. Most importantly was Fabricate, which began life as a proprietary index site for projects by a single developer named Geometrically. But unlike Curseforge's bulky and clunky old website, this was actually very easy to use. This doesn't sound like a lot, but if you ever tried to download a mod from Curseforge at 4 AM and the site just shat itself, you know exactly why this was a big deal. And after some pressure from the community, Geometrically made the code public and open source, with a bunch of people joining the team, eventually culminating into the launch of Modrinth out of beta on February of 2022. And according to my interview with Emma, growth manager at Modrinth, ever since then they delivered on a lot of things they promised, expanding from just mods to hosting now mod packs and plugins, creator payouts, and a lot of smaller things that, according to the team, add to a great modding experience. Now, saying you are a community-driven project is all fine and dandy, but words alone aren't going to win over the masses. So they set about actually actually showing the community what they mean, by not getting tempted to plaster their site with ads, making sure the site didn't shut down every time somebody tried to download the mod, and just keeping an ear to the ground, listening to feedback. And as Emma put it, nothing is done at Modrinth without the opportunity to get a second, third, and 1,000 pair of eyes on it. And this manifests into a dedicated group of people shouting from the rooftops that Modrinth is the one for them. And according to my community, while Modrinth isn't the most chosen option, they were the most vocal in my comments. So it's safe to say that they really like what the team is doing over there. But it's important to mention that if you are a mod developer, there are still a lot of creature comforts missing in Modrinth that you are going to miss from Curseforge. But the team is confident they'll get those eventually. The Giant had its first real challenger, and it's about time it woke up and did something. Modrinth now stands as the only big name next to Curseforge, with over 10,000 creations on its site, and as mentioned before, a very dedicated and enthusiastic community. The future looked bright for them, and they really got something here. That being said, recently there has been a cloud on the skies of modding Minecraft. With malware and exploits getting found all the time, many people are afraid to even touch a mod, as he often doesn't know if it's safe or not. So I asked Emma, what's their plan to deal with these threads? And while they are, quote, working on it, they did express that it's worth pointing out that these methods only work if the exploit or malware is already known about. And new infections are hard to detect as no one actually knows where to look, pointing out that there's always an inherent risk to downloading stuff from the internet, and Modrinth is sadly no exception, finding it necessary to say that users should always be vigilant. Other than that, the review process, while not being as slow as Curseforge, is still not ideal, with 90 to 95% of all creations being submitted ending up being denied. And I think it's also important to mention that Modrinth isn't perfect, but it's to a point where it's surpassing Curseforge in some aspects. With its own launcher recently announced, with the same features as Curse launcher, although a little bit more cut down, they look forward to the future with a raised head and bright eyes, waiting on the day that they can say that they took on the Giant and won. And I'll leave you with a quote from Emma, when I asked them how they even survive in a space so dominated by Curseforge. Quote, "We just keep working to create the best product possible. I was Lunar, you were awesome, and I'll see you in the next one." I would like to thank my patrons Kikiso, Comet Speed, and Yoyens to pledge to me on the Boulder tier, and Hans Franz to be brave enough or dumb enough to request his own tier. I love you. If you would like to have full access to the interview I had with Emma and other people I interviewed over the months, feel free to support me on Patreon/ShicknessMC. Thanks again, lads.